Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are again for the usual Truckstars TS3 Championship. My apologies for the logo being appeared, it does say TS2. Yeah, so we got 12 laps here at the fantastic, spectacular Red Bull Ring, located in Austria, in the Styrian Mountains. I'm excited for this race, I think. But the question is, can anyone stop Jeff in the MSR camp there for Steel City? That is the question. But as always, joined here by obviously my fellow commentator in Nick Patasso. How are you doing, my friend?
Yes, good to be back in the TS3 commentator's booth after missing around last time out. I do want to give a good honourable mention to Lashbrook for putting on a spectacular commentary duties last time out for round 2 of the TS3 touring cars. But we're here, we're back, and we are ready to go qualifying for a 10-minute session here. As you said, as you raised the question, can anyone stop Jeff Brunt, who is in the MSR camp car number 18, who's been 4 on the trot? And he's going to be looking for 5, he's going to be looking for potentially 6 in a row tonight, but anyone can stop him. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. Obviously for myself, as the team boss, will want to make sure that he can get through.
Yeah, of course, you know, for yourself, you want to see your driver get through unscathed, but yeah, you know, he's done well at the moment, and he's currently leading the championship, so I'll definitely be good to see if we can have anyone else up there. But good for us at TS3 here. We actually have a new person joining us. So we have Mills here in the privateer Lexus SE430 there. Not too bad of a livery. I do quite like it. It's definitely very simple but yet effective. I quite like that.
You're welcome. Nah, that was all me. He called me, messaged me, he was hassling me all weekend long. He said, mate, I need a livery for the TS3 touring cars. Can you provide me with one? He actually made one himself, but it just didn't really meet the regulations. So I helped him out, gave him a nice and stunning livery, just nice and simple. Kind of just, I don't know about you, but obviously when you look at this car, it's obviously with the Gran Turismo colour scheme, you know, the blue, the purple, the black. It kind of just reminds you of just like that old kind of vintage, like Gran Turismo style theming, you know, the blue, like representing like the old Gran Turismo 6 when it was celebrating its 15th anniversary. Just kind of brings that vibe when the livery was designed there. But you know, it's a great livery. Obviously not myself, but obviously we'll wait and see how fast that is around the track. But we've also got a new face joining us here tonight in the Trackstars TS3 commentary booth. It's obviously, as we did say, it's not Lashbrook joining us tonight. We actually got a brand new commentator in Tyler Lanster, who is one of the main series drivers in car number 5 for National Parts Racing. So if Tyler can hear us, welcome on board, my friend. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, thank you, Spud, and thank you, Carla. Nice to be here. I love watching and coaching the TS3 guys. This is basically the entry level into the Trackstar system. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, Jeff Brunt's been doing so well. He joined late in season 2022, put on some spectacular races. Couldn't notch up a victory, obviously. But that was a heavily strong competition by the likes of Rick Green, and I believe one of them was Kevin Cooper of Renegade 575. So now he's all on his own. He's got some brand new competitors in this field, but those will be looking to try and top him off. His current lap time, which is already set, is 1 minute 22.8. So a very strong competitive lap time to start off runnings here, with just 6 minutes to go to the end of the session. But Ryan, yeah, you know, these cars are absolutely amazing. The track here is a very unique track. It is a 10-corner circuit. It's all majority mid to high speed cornering. So I guess in a way you have to kind of be favouring a very slippery car, like a car with no drag and a car with top end speed. And so far, the Lexus looks to be superior with Brunt's lap time.
Yeah, definitely. I think personally, you know, you could get the Nissan to be up there. It's just a matter of, you know, driver capability really, because we've got Robinson here The lead Nissan at the moment, and then obviously Bendit, from what I can see, is the next one in line. So I think it's just driver capability. You know, some people aren't really used to the car yet, and yeah, so it's just really going to be pretty interesting. But I think, yeah, as I said earlier, I reckon it's just Brun's pace. But as I say that, we had Carter jump up here into P2, 7/10 behind Brun. So that 7/10 gap, that's definitely a driver capability. You know, maybe Carter got a penalty, someone got a penalty here and there, but that's the other thing they got to realise. Track limits on this game for this track are absolutely lethal. They do not care who you are. You cop them, doesn't matter who you are, and I don't like this track limits on this track.
Yeah, absolutely, Palmer. Yeah, like I've been doing all the practice sessions with Michael. They've got some of the drivers here, both TS2 and TS3, and some of the main series guys. There's a limit where you can go. If you go over it, you get punished by penalties. Like I've done some practice qualifying, and it's been ruined like multiple times just from exceeding the track limit by a millimetre.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we saw a huge, what you could call is just like a big menu, like a menu book for your local Austrian restaurant, where we saw the Formula 1 drivers really exceeding those track limits this year, and the Formula 1 Grand Prix and the Austrian, at the Red Bull ring. It was basically kind of like just like reading a menu at a restaurant, where you're just reading drivers' names exceeding track limits, lap times getting deleted, drivers not being able to set lap times, and you know, when they are setting blue lap times or fast-paced lap times, you just see a red box next to their lap time because they've just exceeded track limits. So that's why we're seeing Steve Smith in the car number 29 of the Black Rose Racing entry. He's all the way down in 10th place, where we normally see him inside the top 5. So maybe he hasn't got a clean lap instead of 24 flat, but he's still got a long way to go. He's 1.3 behind Brun, who's still leading the way in P1. So it becomes very crucial to really executing that bank lap, and then really just trying to get comfortable with the car, get the tyres into phase, and really all about just setting yourself up for a good lap. Use a bit of toe, a bit of slipstream, but not to get impeded too much when you set your lap time. As we see Walker across the line, still hasn't improved as well. And Walker's another name here, Ryan. Walker was scored P2 overall last time out at Spa-Francorchamps, but he's down in 9th place, so not the start that he wanted in his qualifying session.
Yeah, I was just about to touch on that. I was just saying, you know, Walker's down here in 9th. Probably not where he wants to be. You know, 1 second off at the moment. He's gone through the first sector there in a PB of nearly a 10th and a half. So he's not really on the place of Jeff at the moment. But yeah, I'm curious to see if he can make his way up the grid, because if not, then that second place in Spa, that definitely goes into the history books, that one. But yeah, we've got the two Black Rose racing cars here in 9th and 10th. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the race has in store. But here we have Thornley back on the grid too, so it's good to see Thornley back for the MSRVL. You see MSRVL? He's the Creamer Garage. So he's just he's Creamer Coffee MSR.
Yeah, so he missed last time out at Spa, and he's now back with vengeance. And after scoring second place overall, was challenging for the lead in the opening race. As you can see, that goes really wide on the exit of Red Bull Mobile. There you go, just the dreaded half-second penalty. He set himself a good lap time there, 1 minute 23.8. But Ryan, that doesn't count. It doesn't count, and you know he has to start all over again. And this lap is going to be compromised with that half-second penalty.
Yeah, so that last lap got compromised with the with the faster time, and then obviously the next one's going to be compromised because he has to burn it. So yeah, probably not what he wants, but yeah, that's 1 second as well. So he puts it in the wall too.
No.
So, and a minute to go, he's not going to be able to get another lap in.
No, I was just going to say, I was thinking if he was going to be able to get another lap time in. So the man that was challenging for the lead in the opening race of the opening round at Deep Forest Raceway will be starting as probably as low as 13th place. They won't be able to find any improvements in his positioning, so a lot of work to do for car number 90. But we're seeing a couple of names, some different names there. As you did see there, Jay Mills in 5th place as a privateer entry. He's doing a really good job there. As I say that, just runs wide on the exit of Raj Corner there. But yeah, that's his qualifying session over. But the main thing is, can anyone still topple off Jem Braun as he's come through? He's got a half-second penalty, so his session is done for this evening. But can anyone behind there? He's got a good gap over the others. He's got 2 tenths over Carter, and he's got a few tenths over James as well in 3rd place. But we've seen the cars coming across the line right now. We saw Griffin improve his lap time. We see Walker has improved on his lap time. He's up into P3. Smith for Black Rose Racing, he's up into the top 5 now. So that's a great, that's a nice little great resurgence there for Black Rose, up in from 3rd and 5th place respectively. Richard Robinson, the first of the Nissans, in 6th place, and then we have Mills in 7th, and then we have Bendit from Black Flag E Racing in the top 8.
Yeah, I'm happy that Walker did improve his time there, because if I was him, I probably wouldn't have been happy starting all the way down the pack there in P9, same as Steve Smith there in the other Black Rose Racing car. Obviously they were 9th and 10th, now they're sitting 3rd and 5th, so Smith will start directly behind Walker in the race, so it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. So I'm definitely excited to see what's happening, because I can see 3 cars that are still qualifying.
This lap time from Bennett won't be anywhere representative, so he's just coming across the final corner, just to really just across the line essentially. So in the top 8 there's Bennett. He was another driver that also missed out last time out at Spa-Francorchamps, so he'll be working his way through. We can see Warrington, I almost got the name wrong, Warrington in 14th place, and then we had Smith for FR Bono Racing in 15th and last place. So we've got a full grid tonight here, only one lobby here in the Trackstars TS3 Touring Cars, led by Jeff Braun with a 1 minute 22.9. So another pole position goes to car number 18, but the big question is, can anyone stop him? Can Carter pose a threat into taking the victory away from Braun? Can Walker do anything after a strong performance and a late surge in qualifying? Will we be able to see the Nissans come through the field and maybe get themselves onto the podium? We'll find out in due time. But fellas, it is time for the start of round 3 for the Styrian Sprint here at Trackstars Racing Series, where we are bringing you live and free all the action here on the Trackstars Racing Series YouTube channel. It is myself, Nick Patasso, Ryan Palmer, and Tyler Lansdale in the commentary box, bringing you all the action here. The start of the TS3 field and the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. It is Jeff Braun going to be leading the way, leading the pack of 15 angry drivers up towards turn 1. It's a very compromised zone there, so everyone needs to be very cautious as those 5 lights are about to go out. And we are underway, green flag racing. So Braun's got a very nice jump over the rest of the field there. As we cut to Robinson, we'll see what the pack is like going into turn 1. So caution is needed. A little bit of a tap there, a bit of a send. An ascending move there by a couple of the drivers behind there. We're not so sure who that could have been. I did see a bit of a white car come through. I'm not so sure who that would have been.
Looks like Thornley.
Looks like Thornley must have come through, must have collected somebody at the start of the race and really just must have sent them through. You know, as they always say in the famous words of Super GT, into the Shadow Realm. We come back to him and see what happened. We can see Thornley's looking to be conservative there, but he just got late on the brakes there, unfortunately for Thornley. So a little bit too eager on the opening lap there, unfortunately for the youngster in car 90.
More mess. Jeez.
He's not having a good day, Thornley.
That was very unfortunate there. Just got in the way there of Mills. Unfortunately, Mills was coming back onto the track. Wasn't unsafe. It was just he stayed to the left-hand side, and unfortunately Thornley couldn't get around him. So a bit unfortunate there, but you got to just kind of get back on the track and just see where you go. But that's the old racing head essentially. So yeah, just spatial awareness and see what the car's going in front of you. But as Mills runs wide there, that'll probably be half a second penalty. But yeah, as we thought, Braun out in front, but he's got Carter hot on his heels, sitting on the back of that car like a rash.
I was going to say, Carter's not letting him go in this opening sequence. We're on lap 2 of 12 there. Is he going to be able to pose the challenge to Jeff Brun. Jeff Brun runs wide on turn 3, so that's going to compromise his exit. He's going to lose traction, and Carter's got the inside line that's going to lead up into turn 4. He's still got into the B pillar section of Jeff Brun's car number 18. Can he go for a move? He doesn't. Jeff Brun cuts the nose off WTC Racing entry, and he still holds on. Brun in first place. That's great racing there. It's great awareness by the top 2 so far. Right behind there is Adam Walker in 3rd place. He's looking at this battle thinking, you boys keep battling, because once you make a mistake, I'm coming through with my black and white, black rose racing entry. And then right behind there is James, the runner-up of the Formula 3 Championship, running in 4th place very nicely. So we have so what we could say here so far, it looks like we've got ourselves a Lexus top 6 first Nissans looking to be Stafford in 7th place, and a nice recovery and a nice start for Rosewarne, for M&R Racing. He was awesome. So we have to remind everyone, Rosewarne was actually involved in that lap 1, turn 1 incident with Thornley, but it looks like he came a little bit unscathed there. Maybe counted his lucky stars there, and he's still holding on into the top 8 there, so it kind of helped him out in a way. So he's got 8th place nicely there, all sealed up there, so we can see Stafford making a move up into 6th place, trying to make a move on Griffin, but then here comes his teammate in Rosewarne going for the outside line. They're going to be compromising each other. Will Rosewarne outbrake his teammate? He doesn't. He's going to sit patiently. Oh, gives his teammate a bit of a bump on the rear quarters there, and that's going to really hurt his exit. And I don't think anyone behind is going to be able to challenge him. Brian, this is why I love TS3 racing. There's so much carnage, so much drama, so much action here, and we're only on lap 3 of 12.
Yeah, I think that's the joys here of TS3. Essentially, it's just kind of run what you brung, and just rock up, jump in the car, and go. So don't have to worry about tuning, don't have to worry about damage, safety cars, any of that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely fun. I love TS3, but I think I'm going to bring back who's your Monopoly money on there, Tyler, for the round win. I reckon you're probably going to be a bit biased on this one, but yeah, who have you got your Monopoly money on this one to win?
Well, so for the Monopoly money, I've got obviously Brun is always going to be first. I'll be in heavy training with him, doing the practice of it, but I won't rule out Carter, because he is the winner from the F3 race in Perth. If you guys wind the clock back a little bit early this year, so Carter's got a good record here at Red Bull Ring. So the top 2 is just going to be neck and neck both race 1 and 2. So Brun's got his work cut out today.
Yeah, that's right. So he's doing a good job. He's still fending off from Carter. Carter's doing like you mentioned there. He is still applying the pressure to Jeff Brun. He's not going to make any moves yet. He's just going to sit behind him. He's going to wait for Brun to make a mistake. He did make a mistake at turn 3 only a lap ago, and that really compromised his entry into turn 4. That he losing the traction out of turn 3. Going into turn 4, and it really put the pressure on him. But we're on lap 4 of 12, and yeah, like you said, Carter's definitely got some good history around this track. He's the overall ground winner in the Formula 3 Championship, so he's got some great history, great records around this circuit. So will he be able to back it up in the Lexus SC 430? We'll find out very soon. We're on lap 4 of 12. But yeah, so far it still looks like a little bit spread out the field. I think if you disregard the top 2, you can see Walker still hanging in the background there. He's not really been able to find any moves, make any impact just yet, after he just scored himself P3 in that qualifying session. So definitely really struggling in that early phase of qualifying, maybe being hampered with track limit penalties, but still not being able to find a comfort zone in this opening race. Or maybe he's just trying to save up a little bit of tyres and then really go for a push lap, as we can see there. Goes through the first sector, purple amongst the front 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen to see on where some of the drivers can come through here, but Walker's not out of this yet. He's kind of just hanging in the distance, waiting to see Carter and Walker battle with this one. But I think, if I remember correctly, Carter had a good run here in the F3, same as James. So to see these guys up the front, I'm not surprised at all. But in saying that, James has got heavy pressure there from Smith.
Yeah, Smith looks like he's coming through very nicely. So it's good to see Bluey back in the TS3 Touring Car Series. Great to see him back in Trackstars Racing Series, and he's putting on some great performances in 5th place, looking to apply some pressure on James in car number 56. But right down the auto, he's also got his teammate in Tony Griffin in 6th place, well back from this battle pack of the top 5. It's more or less coming back from 7th downwards. That's where all the battling is happening at the moment. We can see Stafford in 7th. Robertson's now made a position over Rosewarne into 8th place, and then we have Bender inside the top 10 for Black Flag E Racing. Inside that top 10, but you know, some big names outside of the top 10 as well. There we can see there Thornley in 11th. We can see Liam, who put on a really good performance. I believe it was both at Deep Forest and Spa from memory. He put on some great performances there, and he's outside of that top 10. So the It's Racing driver maybe just struggling for a bit of pace here in the first round of in the first race here for the Styrian Sprint. See there, Warrington in 13th place, still holding on very nicely there, also getting caught up on a few little incidents on his end. Then we have Smith for FR Bono Racing, very nice livery there, FR Bono Racing team. They always have stunning liveries. The FR team was led by Ridwan actually, but Ridwan doesn't make liveries himself, so maybe something he needs to learn himself, maybe a little bit of a hobby. You know, if I can make a livery for Mills in 15th place, I'm sure he can. It's not hard. Come on.
I've seen Ridwan make a livery, mate, and there's a reason why me and Ridwan don't make liveries. We just drive cars. But he does have a livery designer for FR Bono Racing, so yeah, they do definitely a good one. But as I jump up to the front here, Carter's dropped down into 8th, so he's had a massive off somewhere. But in
not one but two. So unlucky for Carter. He was doing so well.
You can just see there on that last lap. You can see on that last lap, it's at a 1 minute 37. So I think it may have just been more than a half-second penalty there, Ryan, that got him that 1 minute 37.
Yeah, I think he may have spun or something or other like that. I didn't catch that. Usually I'm pretty good with that one, but yeah, that one I didn't catch. But do give me a break. I am a little bit on the tired side. It's been a very big day. Yeah, so
it's all very tricky to catch up with all the action here, because we've got a lot of battle packs, as I said there. It's very well spread out, but any glimmer of battling around this circuit here, you can miss within a heartbeat, because it is a very short circuit, this one. There's only 10 corners, so the battle packs, and you know, you could kind of say it's an easy track because there's a lot of mid to high speed corners. There's only like probably, you could say, about 3 major braking zones, like really 3 heavy braking zones, but otherwise it's just a little bit of a 50 to 75% braking the rest of the way. So the cornering, so there's really not much room for overtaking. It's all about just sitting in behind that driver and just really using that slipstream to the advantages, and that's what Smith is doing right now with James. He's just dropped back a little bit, but he's going to be able to try and see if he can claw himself up a little bit more, keep piling the pressure on the WTC Racing entry, and try and get himself inside the top 3 on that podium position. So it'll actually be his first podium if he's able to make this move here at Trackstars TS3. So still putting the pressure on James. Right behind there we can see Tony Griffin coming all sorts of under pressure from Robertson in 6th place there. So the first of the Nissans, Richard Robertson, Robo Sport Racing, coming out for the last time here at Trackstars Racing Series, representing Robo Sport for the final time in 2023. It's going to be sad to see that team go. They've been a thorn of what has been a successful Trackstars Racing Series league, and Robo Sport Racing has been one of the founding members, or one of the founding teams, to be able to come through and put on some great performances, great drivers, and some great racing pedigree behind that team. So to be able to see that team not be with us in 2024, it's going to be a very sad sight. But Robertson's going to be doing himself all he can to really try and push this car all the way up inside the top 5, and hopefully, for his sake, potentially try and go for a win.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. Look, it's sad to see the RSR name go, because you know, like myself, with some of us, I got my first run in Robo Sport racing, this is how I got introduced to track stars, and you know they're very committed to success, and like we saw in Formula 2, you know, like with having Curry being the Formula 2 champion, along with Race Pig and Chris Burke, like they've got some great pedigree of drivers, like you know so when it comes to like their co-drivers going into the main series, they're going to be quite stacked come to the Enduros.
Yeah, I've seen the driver lineups for some of these guys. And, Robinson running a little bit deep there onto the marbles, my friend. It's not wet. It's not wet. You don't want to be back. You don't want to be back there. But we got Roses in the chat saying hashtag bring back EBM, mate. We would love to bring back EBM, but unfortunately Shane hasn't really been around much for Elite Brake Mechanical. So he's doing a lot of Super 2 work. So we definitely congratulate him on that. He's working with Blanchard Racing Team in Super 2. So he's progressing quite considerably in that one, and he's doing a lot of drifting and some other events and stuff like that. But that little mistake there from Robinson, he closed into the gap through Griffin there through that last second sector. But yeah, getting back on your you know, high speed stuff like that. Sometimes with stuff like this, you know, your long straights and stuff, you don't want, you know, a low downforce car or vice versa. But yeah, like I think with these guys, obviously it's easy, but the dirty air as well, it's probably not ideal. It is 2.1 behind going into turn 3, so they'll probably be doing, you know, onwards of anywhere up to 20-25 k's faster than what they normally would be. So maybe that may come into play with that and stuff like, you know. I think turn 1 it was a bit antsy there, but we got a yellow flag.
Looks like it's a, I believe from what I saw there, looks like a Bono Racing driver. Yeah, it is Smith there, so he's got himself onto the gravel trap there, so it looks like he's a little bit beached. He's trying to get himself up and running. There he goes. So he's up back in, getting his car back into gear. He's just coming under pressure from who is... Oh, it's contact made between the two drivers. What has happened there between those two? So I feel like Smith was just trying to get out of the way there. Perhaps Formley was just using him as a bit of a tow, a bit of slipstream there. So that's a bit of an interesting one there. Right, I've never seen this before.
I do not know.
That is weird. I've never seen that before in all of the racing and all the commentary I've done.
Maybe Thornley thought Smith was staying where it was. Yeah, definitely.
That could be an issue.
Yeah,
that could be an issue later in the evening.
It did look like a very late decision there from Smith to move over. So maybe Thornley thought he was staying to the left, so Thornley went to the inside, and as he goes to the inside, Smith moves over, and you know that can happen. So I think, you know, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I think that may be one for the stewards to look at. So we'll keep that in mind for them. But at the moment, the Jeff Brun, mate, he's out in front and by 1.3, 1.4 seconds. So, but yeah, it's a 1-2, same as last round.
Same as what it was in. Exactly, same as it was in Spa. So Walker can't get himself around Jeff Ron. Obviously, these two are good mates in the real world and have raced each other in other competitive series. And you know, even beforehand, they were actually teammates in one of Walker's teams there. So we can see there Griffin's up into P3. So this has just come out of nowhere. Where has Tony Griffin come from? He's up into P3. So we're seeing him well down the order there. I think it was like 6th or 7th, and all of a sudden, up into P3 goes Tony Griffin, makes the move on his teammate, nicely executed into turn 1. But now his teammate's going to come back onto the inside there. A little bit of biff and barge between the two teammates.
James
looks like James.
Yeah, no team orders here, brother.
No team orders between these two guys. Looks like James has got the better traction out of turn 3, out of Remus, and then Tony Griffin's just trying to go for an outside, maybe go for a bit of a switchback going into turn 4. He's looking at it. He's got the nose there. Does he keep the momentum? No, I think he's just going to stick behind and maybe just hold on to P3. But as we look back to the front for the final lap time, for the final lap here, it is Jeff Braun. It is potentially going to be 5 on the trot as he executes turn 9 very nicely, and then coming through Red Bull Mobile for the final time. It is 5 on the trot for Jeff Braun. Takes victory here for round 3 of the Trackstars TS3 Touring Cars. Big congratulations to the man in car number 18th. Adam Walker in 2nd place for Black back on the podium, and James just holds off for that late charge on Griffin, but Griffin's got an actual nice exit out of the final corner there. He's going to put a threat there. No, can't do it, unfortunately. James holds on to P3. Griffin to 4. Bendit is coming to. Bendit comes through very nicely in P5 there. I think Robertson got a penalty on that last one, on that last corner. So very, very unlucky there. But bended up into P5, so very nice race there. Very quiet for the Dutch driver. And in 5th place, as we roll down through the rest of the field there, we can see Warrington in 13th, and then we have the debuting Mills in 14th, and then Smith just come across the line right now, lap down unfortunately, and a bit of a question mark over his head after an incident like that in 15th place. But man, you know, he's 5 on the trot here, fellas. Who can stop Jeff Braun for taking victory number 6 this evening?
My closest guess would be Walker, but you know, at the moment, doesn't look like Jeff can be stopped. That's, as you said, 5 on the trot. It's not hard. It's not easy to do, but it's also hard to get stopped while doing it. So, yeah, I'm definitely keen to see what happens with this race 2 coming up. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, I think. But yeah, jumping into the results here, we have, as we said, Jeff Braun taking out 1st place, Adam Walker in 2nd, and then James in 3rd. Believe it or not, that's how they finished in the 1st race and 2nd race last round out at Spa. So there was a Jeff Braun, Adam Walker, and James 1, 2, 3. So, you know, keeping up the performance from that and carrying it through from Spa to Red Bull. But yeah, they first 2 just drove away from the pack.
Well, you have to also keep in mind, you have to keep into consideration of what Carter was doing up into P2. He's actually come through with the fastest lap in that race, a 1:22.8, and even you can even look at Thornley's lap time. He's at a 1:22.9. So what could have been for Thornley had he set a pace like that in qualifying? And unfortunately, might be coming undone with the turn 1 antics that we saw in the opening lap. He might be getting himself into a bit of trouble of that. But if he set himself that lap time in qualifying, we could have been seeing some sort of different racing with Thornley in the car number 90. But as we take a bit of a break here, we will be back with you guys very shortly for a race 2 of the Trackstars TS3 Touring Cars. So sit back, relax, hang out for a couple of minutes, and we'll be back with you guys very shortly.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the grid set for race 2 here at the Red Bull Ring in the fantastic Alps of Styria in Austria. But yeah, I think I don't know what we have in store for race 2 with this one.
Oh, I think we have to open up the floor to our guest commentator and Tyler Lancer. What do you think? What do you think is going to be happening up into race 2? Like, what kind of action are we going to be seeing? We'll be seeing a new contender for taking victory away from Jeff Brown. Will we see some maybe surprise name up in the top 5 or podium position? What are your thoughts going into race 2?
Look, I reckon one of my main apprentices finally want to make up for that turn 1 incident. So he's gonna probably go into full send it mode, and yeah, he might surprise from 10th, but you never know. You can also put a shout out to Bender, who's just consistently punching laps himself, because he got involved in he got messed up in a couple of incidents, and you never know, he might end up on the podium for Black Flag Racing as well. And I've had a bit of association in other leagues, and they're really great lads. And I've been trying to get more of them in the Trackstar series, you know, because they have some really capable drivers that are incredibly quick and main series worthy. But you never know, Brun will just have eyes forward and head down and get that 3rd clean sweep in a row potentially. But you never know, because this is TS3, anything can happen, especially at a track like Red Bull Ring. One track limit penalty away, and you can go from 1st to 5th in 5 seconds, mate. And also that turn 1 here as they get underway. But everyone's gone clean. Bendit tries to go for a move. Oh, Bendit goes around the outside.
Well, we see a much cleaner start at someone. Oh, still carnage there. So we've seen a couple of drivers there still not able to get some room through. We can see some more carnage there. We can see Bendit there, and we can see Robertson as well. So Robertson's been caught up in all this. So from 5th place and 6th place drivers all caught up in incidents here. What has happened here? Oh, it just got caught off on the wrong end of Griffin going around the outside of turn 1 there. So a lot of carnage here at Austria here in Trackstars TS3 there. So the boys are still not able to learn from each other that it's all about trying to be clean in the opening lap there. We can see Carter went for a bit of a move there. We can see Mills went for an ambitious move there, taps the rear quarters of Rosewarm in the record. And they're still going off here, Ryan. It's 3 corners in a row. We've seen the drivers come off left, right, front, and centre. Smith has gone for an ambitious move there. He's very lucky he didn't take anybody out there. He's so lucky he didn't take anyone out going into turn 4. That is absolutely not how we want to be racing here in Trackstars Racing Series.
Oh, he got spun there by Smith. Wow, that's unfortunate.
Everyone seems to, you know, that everyone's turning into the postman this first lap. They're just trying to lick the stamp and send it.
It's becoming a little bit sketchy here in the TS3 touring cars. It looks like there's a lot of carnage going on in this opening lap here in Austria. As I said, it is a very tricky track to be getting yourself around the track. Overtakes are very risky and can be very high risk. Not just 1 but 3 instances where, you know, carnage can come through all of this. And we've seen a lot of various incidents on the opening lap here for race 2 of the Trackstars TS3 touring cars. So a lot of inquiries will be happening, and a little bit of a talk for the boys and the TS3 touring cars about to ask them what is going on, because that's not how we want to be racing here tonight. But as we can say that in all of this, we can see some drivers have made their way up through the field there. We can see there Stafford in 4th place, the first of the M&R drivers, the first of the Nissans in 4th place there. Carter's moved himself up into 5th place after starting from the rear, or nearly at the rear of the field. He's been the biggest winner and moving up all those positions up into P5. And then we have Smith in 6th place, and then we have Thornley in 7th place, and Barrington in NZL Cowboy is in 8th place. So nice little recovery drive for him. But yeah, just a lot of carnage going on this opening lap here, Ryan. And I think that's what Red Bull kind of brings there. It's a great track. It's fun. It's fast and flowing, but it's very dangerous for opening lap sequences.
Yeah, it can be dangerous for opening lap sequences, but at the end of the day, first lap's first lap. Everyone knows you cannot go full send on the first lap. It may be a sprint race, it may be an enduro race. It doesn't matter what race it is. You cannot go full send on your first lap. You might be gaining position, but yeah, that to me, the driving standards of that was definitely not where we're at all. So that rejoin there, that was something nasty. But yeah, I think we're definitely gonna have to have a little bit of a chat to the TS3 boys and just tell them to kind of calm it down a bit, because yeah, it's definitely, the first round was good. The first round was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it was good. Round 2 a little bit better, on the same side. There was a couple of here and there, but yeah, this one at Red Bull Ring, this is definitely on the scale which we don't want to lean to. But unfortunately, we like to address this stuff pretty early, so we may address it. But at the moment, Brun's out in front. Who's no one's going to stop him at this point, mate. Just give him the championship trophy now.
Absolutely, he's just in a class on his own here, Jeff Brun. And you could just see the way that he's driving the car. The exit out of turn 1 was very nice and smooth. He's got a clear out in front of him. I think the most interesting thing is he hasn't actually been behind any driver whatsoever, except for race 1 and in round 1 where he had to challenge Robinson and Thornley for victory. But other than that, he's just been seeing clear air and clear track in front of him, and it's just a testament to how far he's come in his series. He's one of the lead founders in his series, in the Motormotion E series, who are our joint partners here in the Australian sim world of Gran Turismo 7. So even though when he runs his own series at Motormotion, he's still putting on some great performances over there. He brings that form to Trackstars Racing Series. He's just putting on a class act and really just showing the boys, saying, I'm here to play, even though I'm not in the fast elites in the TS2 and main series. In TS3, this is my honing ground. This is where I want to show off my pace. And so far, 5 on the trot, potentially 6 if he's able to keep this car pointing in the right direction. But so far, with 23.6 as his fastest lap time, not the fastest lap time we've actually seen here in the opening laps there. And I have noticed as well, and maybe Tyler might be able to back up on me on this, but when it comes to actual practicing around this track, the tyres do take a very long time to generate heat, and it really just takes a very long time for them to come up to grips. You're looking at roughly about 4 to 5 laps for the tyres to really start working, because other than that, it's the opening laps, they are stone cold and there's no grip whatsoever.
Yeah, you're right, but yeah, like when I've done practice with the guys as well, it takes a while for the tyres to warm up, as it's a power circuit, not many corners. Like I said, only 10 corners. It's not a lot for a racetrack as well. And also, I'm gonna touch on Brun as well. Like since I'm one of the main guys running development, running the development side of things in the MSR. In the MSR garage, the first person I spoke to was Brun. I say I'm gonna help you get up high up in the TS3 grid, and he's really manifested that. So, and if you haven't noticed, that I've been posting up track guides on my YouTube channel to see where everyone, is. If anyone was struggling to get the track right, I was there as a basic guide. And unfortunately, with this one, I didn't get around to doing a dry track guide as it was threatening to rain, and as this track is a completely different personality when it rains. And unless you guys have got anything to add on to that.
Well, all I can say was at the start of the week on the Monday, I was talking to the series admin, talking to Ryan as well, just showing him the track map and showing him the weather forecast. We're all set for torrential rain, potentially flooding in Austria. It's absolutely just diabolical.
Well, I can tell you that as of now, the TS2 and TS3 drivers are extremely lucky, because all week it's been rain from essentially Monday to Tuesday or Wednesday after. The forecast changed and Sunday was the only day to clear up, so they are lucky. And I'm looking at the forecast now, it's still rain because they had 1 millimeter of rain. They're due for scattered thunderstorms on Monday, thunder showers on Tuesday, and showers on Wednesday. So, mate, they count.
How lucky are these guys?
They're counting their lucky stars. Hang on a minute, we got a day of partly cloudiness on Thursday, and then we go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, more rain. So, mate,
wow, that is incredible. It's I've never seen anything like that before, where you can just have a week where it's just full torrential, like scattered showers, torrential rain, you know, thunderstorms all throughout the week, and then all of a sudden, when it comes to race day, partly cloudy, quite humid. Conditions of the track is very slippery, but you know we'll still go racing in the dry. I think these the TS3 and TS2 drivers are ready to bring their wet tyres. All the crew chief were ready to bring their wet tyres, and we saw all throughout the week in the practice sessions, everyone was practicing wet running, and then all of a sudden, that as soon as it came to Sunday, no, you don't need those tyres anymore, fellas.
Yeah, well, obviously, we made the weather announcement on Thursday, but yeah, I was running some laps in the TS2 car, and mate, I tell you what, it was sketchy as anything on the racing line, and then I did a bit of experimenting, and mate, I jumped off the racing line, was running in the marbles, and I gained, I think, anywhere up to nearly 7 seconds. So, say where Jeff Brooks going down now, I'd be off to the right, so I'd be 1 car length to the right, and I'd be gaining time. The wheels would be spinning. Yeah, and then I'd hang out left here, and then sit on the racing line, brake a little bit early to get the car turned in, and then hold to the right. So, yeah, and then I was quite considerably in front of me, and then, funnily enough, Breeder actually watched me, I think, for 2 laps, and then, well, already set a faster lap than me. So, yeah, he definitely did his research, but yeah, they're counting their lucky stars because they threw the wets in the back of the transporters and pulled the slicks out. But Tony Griffin here, mate, he's overtaken Walker, and he's on a mission. He's on an absolute mission to catch Jeff.
Well, we finished 3rd in the last race. He's now up into P2 with a personal best on his lap time there, so he's not too far off the pace of Jeff Brun in first place. And we can see there Carter coming through the back of the pack. Outside the top 10 in 4th place and piling all the pressure on Walker. He's looking to potentially go through a move into turn 4. He's going to point the nose, he's going to show the nose, give him a bit of an escort wide. He goes for the move, he takes P3 away from Walker. Walker can't do anything about that, so he has to settle in for P4, just ahead of his teammate in Smith in 5th place. So the WTC boys up into 2nd and 3rd place. Black Rose Racing in 4th and 5th, and then the first of the Nissans in Stafford for M&R Racing. And then we have Thornley, who's come from the back of the field as well, so he's up into P7, so some nice progression there for the youngster from the UK. And then we have Richard Robertson for RoboSport Racing in 8th place. A very nice livery that he's got going at RoboSport Racing. And then James, 9th place, still setting some great lap times as well, but just well down the order, unfortunately. And Bendit as inside the top 10 for Black Flag Racing. As well, got caught up in that opening lap drama as well as Robinson, so what could have been for both him and Bendit a little bit higher up the grid. And then we have Liam in 11th, then we have who I was just trying to remember, that's Mills in 12th place, so maybe a bit of a question mark over Mills there, because he got caught up on a lot of incidents on that opening lap run, so he might be under the stewards heads, just scratching their heads, just thinking, what have you done to yourself there? As we can see, Rosewarm go for a move there, makes contact with Mills there. How has he saved that? We saw the car pointing in the wrong direction, facing the barrier there, so that was a very ambitious move there by Rosewarm. I think potentially he may have been one of the culprits of the opening lap incident with Mills there, so you can just see there, oh, how is he, that is a save and a half, fellas. Wow.
Yeah, well played to Millsy there. And for a bloke who's only just, what I've been hearing from Jack, he's only just bought the game recently. He's only starting to, it seems like he's starting to get used to how the cars are driving in this series. And props to him. That's even difficult for a main series driver to catch that, especially that turn 1 of that off-camber apex. Then if you run wide on those curves, they are ruthless. Absolute ruthless.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are, wringing the necks out of these older spec 2008 GT500s. So very low downforce setup that these cars bring, very low aero package, and very, very slippery, very powerful cars. They're big V8s in these GT500s. So they're doing a fantastic job getting these cars well up the order, and they're doing a really good job and really handling these beasts. And as we can see there with Brun leading the way, he's got himself a really good handle on these cars here. And then we have Stafford, the first of the Nissans, and this is an interesting one, Ryan. Going from last year, we saw a whole array of Nissans up the top of the leaderboard. We saw obviously with Rick Reed, we saw with Renegade, we even saw with Tormentor and a few other drivers. We saw that Nissan GTR as one of the top cars, but as the weeks and months and the year goes by, and several patch updates and balance of performance updates, it looks like it's definitely favouring the Lexus side, and it's become a huge surprise because no one usually likes to favour the Lexus as their preferred car. Well, looks like we've lost Ryan on the comms there.
I have my mic muted. I'm still sick and I was coughing my lungs up, so I thought I would be very nice and mute my mic. So I do apologize for that. But I think they need to go through a BOP change because this is very unfair. Because the first Nissan is in position 6 and no in use, but granted, you're just a Lexus through and through, you'd be like, nah, mate, this is fantastic. I like seeing this.
Absolutely. As we can just see there, Thornley's just made a move on Stafford, and he's up into P6, but with a half-second penalty next to his name there, so he'll be potentially losing that P6 away as he gets to the penalty burn zone on the exit of Worth before Prince, which is on the exit of turn 8. But yeah, it's been very interesting because we've seen a huge demand of Nissan GTRs in 2022, and I feel like this year we kind of saw a bit of a good split between the Lexus and
Definitely.
the Nissans, but I think. So obviously people were just getting their heads down, maybe just trying to understand that maybe the Lexus is a little bit stronger than the Nissan. Maybe the Nissan has just maybe lost a little bit of performance from one of the recent balance performance updates that Gran Turismo put out in one of their patches. So maybe something that maybe Polyphony might be looking into within the next couple of months when they start releasing their updates. Maybe potentially they might be able to bring the Nissan GTR back up to where it should be, for some of the drivers where we saw in the last year in TS3 we saw Rick Reed take out the title in that Nissan GTR, and now potentially it could be a first as well. It could be the first time we might be able to see a Lexus take out the TS3 Touring Cars title, but it's a long way to go in this championship. We're only on round 3. We've got a 13-round championship, so if you still want to check around and hang about with us here at Trackstars Racing Series and see how this season concludes, do follow us and subscribe to us here at Trackstars Racing Series YouTube channel. If you want to get a part of all of this action here, join us on the Discord at Trackstars Racing Series, where we might be seeing you on the track here with the TS3 boys. But it is for the final lap, for the final time. Jeff Brun still leading the way. Tony Griffin now coming under pressure from his teammate in Carter, where they were battling it out with each other. Griffin up into P2. He's going to probably seal position 2 overall. But I think it's going to be another case here, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Brun in car 18 coming around the final corner. He's slowing himself down. I can see there, Griffin. Not so sure what's going on his end. Maybe going defensive. But it's going to be 6 wins in a row for Jeff Brun. Another clean sweep for the MSR driver. Can anyone stop him in car 18? A huge victory there. 6 on the trot. Can anyone stop him for the next round? We'll find out in the next couple of weeks as we see all the drivers coming through. We have Griffin in second, Carter third, Walker from P2 to P4, very unlucky there. We'll probably be finishing third overall in the rounds. And then we have Stafford in 6, James in 6th place. And as the cars still start coming through to the start-finish line, we've got a few question marks over some drivers and some questionable driving here at the start of race 2, ladies and gentlemen. But hopefully in 2 weeks' time we'll be able to screw their heads back into place, and potentially we might be able to give them a bit of a word up and hopefully be able to improve the driving standards here tonight. But it has been a bit of a difficult race for some drivers, but I think that for a race driver such as that is Jeff Brun hasn't been difficult at all. It's 6 wins in a row. Can anyone stop him? Like, is he going to go a whole season just taking victories? This could be a first year at Trackstars.
Well, what at the moment? What's the most on the trot? I think Curry's got 5. So, in regards to race wins in a row, I think Jeff has just taken that off him. So, yeah, so Curry got 5 on the trot. I think it was. Actually, no, it'd be Pat in main series. I think. How many did he get in a row?
I think potentially he got like 6, maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah, so he's probably on his way to match Pat. Before obviously Pat went to Bathurst, and then I rained on that parade. So yeah, but yeah, he's on track to match Pat for most wins in a row, and Curry as well. So Curry's got 5 in F2, and then yeah, I can't remember how many Pat did, but yeah, that's a six Lexuses in the top 10, top 8, sorry. So yeah, I think maybe the Nissan boys need to go back to the drawing board and see what they can do better. But unfortunately, I think Stafford and Robinson were involved in that bit of a mess. But yeah, that's a bit unfortunate there. But you know, as always, on to the next round and obviously see how they go. But yeah, I was happy with that, and I am happy for Jeff. But mate, you keep going, you're gonna get that championship, and you're gonna be pushed into TS2, mate. So you better get ready for that one.
No looking back, my friend.
Rightio, guys. I've got to get sorry to interrupt. I've got to get going and get the TS2 guys ready to go. So thank you for having me on, Ryan and Nick. It's been a pleasure to watch these guys run around and watch my man Jeff get up in the. Once again, mate, he's just looking so dominant. Like whatever they're putting in the juice in the cars, it's doing something. It's doing well. Anyways, guys, thanks for having me, and I'll see you later.
Dramas. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, Tyler, for joining us. And yeah, just before we head off, we'll give a little bit of a quick shout out for all the people, for all the drivers and spectators in the grandstand. Thank you so much for joining us in the YouTube comments. As your comments and your words of predictions mean a lot to us here at Trackstars Racing Series. It's great to have you all joining us for what has been an eventful Trackstars TS3 Touring Cars Championship. A lot of discussions, a lot of controversy coming out of this round. But before we end the broadcast, Ryan, we're going to have to start giving out our driver of the day. And I mean, I would go for a predictable one or who could be driver of the day, but I think I might change it up a little bit. But I want to hear your take first on who is your potential driver of the day.
Well, sorry, Jeff, but hate to rain on your parade, mate, but you're not getting my driver of the day because you're 6 on the trot. You've already got enough, and your head and your ego's probably big enough, mate. You're in the Lexus. You drive for Steel City MSR, mate. It's just wrong. It's just wrong for me racing for its racing and then just doing that, you know, for commentating. I'm gonna go for the silent assassin in Tony Griffin. You know, he kind of really wasn't around much, but yeah, he just come through at the end there and just absolutely annihilated at the end there, and you know, kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, his pace was very strong. It was just definitely flew under the radar. Did Tony Griffin, and like you said, you know, really put on a great performance, finishing P3 in race 1, and then P2 sealing second overall in the round for round 3. Absolutely incredible, and yeah, I was thinking that name straight away, and luckily for you and I, we have the same minds here in the commentators booth. So yeah, the driver of the day for me is good pick. There is Tony Griffin from WTC Racing. So victory for Wade Von Duvey and his team in WTC Racing, but it is the overall victory for Jeff Brun from Mash Buds Racing. So thank you so much for tuning in to the TS3 Touring Cars coverage. We're about to get ourselves underway for pre-qualifying here in a Trackstars TS2 Touring Car. So join us shortly in an hour's time. But until then, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time for TS3 Touring Cars. But stay tuned for